All right, today we're doing a third angle orthogonal drawing. Got a pencil, a ruler, blank A4 paper, and this worksheet which I'll upload onto Classroom with a isometric drawing that you guys will be converting into 2D. This one has the measurements on it, so it's made it nice and simple. 5757 is the shape. And what we need to think about is how we are going to divide this into each face, which our first face is this square. And what we need to also show on this square is this line through here, which we'll go over how to do that in a little bit. The second face we've got, which is actually our front, is this. So we're looking at it from this angle. We have this U shape. And then we also have this bit at the back. It's facing that direction. And the last part is our top view. And on the top view, once again, this U shape, and then what we also have is this line here, which is visible from the top. And that is the basis of our third angle orthogonal. So just to get a bit of an eye for it, what I'm actually going to do to start with is just draw out each of those. So we've got our front. Our front is this pink U. So it should have a U shape. This is just sketching. And then we also have the U shape, this top part here. And that's all this will look like if we look at it directly from the front. We have our side. Side is the square, same height, same width. And then we also have this inside line, which will look something like this. So it's just a dashed line showing that there's a cut inside, just like that, just to show that it is actually hollow in there and that there's a hollow cut that runs through. And our top is our square, same width, same height, except this time we have our U shape running along this way. So this area here is this angle piece. On our front, this area here is that angle piece. This dashed line here is the angle piece on our side view. And then this is the basis of a third angle orthogonal. It's just taking each face that we can see, converting it to 2D. What we need to do now is start the final drawing, and this needs to be completely to scale. And once you get your front face down, it's basically just tracing off of that, which I'll go over. So the first thing we need, brand new piece of paper, making sure you give yourself enough space. I'm just going to measure 70 mil from the bottom. So 70 mil across this side again. Draw a line across those, and then this is our horizon line. Now, all this pencil, I'm just doing nice and lightly because we will erase it later. Our first edge, 57 across, and then 63 vertically. So I'm going to start over at this point here, and we'll go 57. So let's line it up 100% accurately. We've got our endpoint a bit harder across to 57. What I'll do now, just to make sure it's all accurate, that's 63 in. So what I'll do over here, if you've got grid paper, even better, but 63. And let's just rule a vertical line as well, just so we know it's all to scale. It's all running parallel. Just a nice and light vertical line, just as a bit of a guide. And it's 63 tall. So 63, lining it up, a bit firmer. From that point, I'm just going to do it by eye. This is just a bit of practice. 57 across. So 57, and that should line straight back down to our 63. And it's 64, but it will suffice for now. So below this, all caps, this is our front. Should be in the center, that's all right. Now we need to measure out this U shape. So we can line up this here. We can actually measure it if we want. And it says that it is 16. And they've done that over here as well. That this is 16, this is 16, and the middle gap is 25. So because we have this U shape, what I'm going to do at the top is let's rule across and go 16 on each end. So 16, a little dash there, little dot. On the other side, 16 with a little dot on the bottom as well. And we'll just do it all the way around just to make sure that everything is 100% accurate. Because in the end, that's what this is about, getting a scaled drawing. And now what I'll just do, create a grid line, nice and lightly, because this is our final. Down and down. They are our two 16mm gaps, which means that that is 25, spot on. 26 at the bottom, so just slightly out. And this bottom piece here, so we have our sides. This bottom piece is 12 high, so on each end again, doing it from the outside, 12mm. On this side, same thing, 12mm. Rule that across. And now, all I need to really do is grab my pencil, get that line weight up, and there is our front face. I can grab my eraser, erase the inside lines. If not, we can trace over it later. And this front face here is the exact same as that, shows it spot on. Now, to do the top and the side, remember we're aiming for something that looks similar to this. One of the rules is we need to keep our top and our side the same distance apart. So just to give us enough distance, I'm going to make it 30mm. So go up by 30 from this point as well, up by 30, and then along that base there, we can draw another horizon line, nice and light on the side, across by 30, across by 30. We can draw our sidewall now, nice and lightly. And this point from the corner to here should be on a 45-degree angle. So now we have a sidewall and the bottom here. Now, we know that our bottom is 57. So if I measure across, or even easier, let's just rule straight up from this point, because this is running at a 57 degree. So 57 is that point there. Then is running up 63. So on the sidewall, I can measure up our 63, which is there. A dot at the top, and I'll actually rule down 63 there. I can rule this line up now, and I'll just rule it all the way from the bottom actually. And then 63 here. And it should run parallel with that. Finish off the top. And the bottom. And to do our U shape, same thing. We can, if this is all accurately done, start at our bottom here, and we'll just lightly rule that line all the way up. So same thing here, start at the bottom all the way up to the top of the drawing. It should all line up, should all be parallel. And then at the top, we once again have our 12mm top piece, which is along here. So we can run that down again to 12mm. Go to the other side, 12mm. straight along the top, nice and lightly. And now what we've done is we've outlined each of these walls. And just like that, we have a top piece. And I can erase all of these lines that are on the inside, remove them, clean those up. We'll go over it in fine line later anyway. And I'll leave those guidelines there for now. Same across the side. The side is 57. Once again, 57 across. On the top, line it up accurately. Straight along, 57 wide, rule that down, and we've got our square wall. And I can actually rule over these because they're all in the right place. And now, for the final piece, this is the front, this is the bottom of our slope, this is the top of our slope. On this wall now, our top of the slope is 12 in from the top. So over here, we can measure this in 12. I'll put a little dot there at 12, just a little dot. And on our wall face, it's 12 up, which is 12 up here as well. And this lets us have our angular inside wall, which is drawn rather than a straight line, because that says it's on the outside. If it's a cutting or interior line, just small dashes, which show that this isn't visible from the outside. This is on the inside of our drawing. Just like that, we can now go, this is our side, this is our top, all in just pencil at the moment, all in caps. And what we can now do as well is start doing some measurements. So what I'm just going to do on the outside of our drawing here, I'm just going to rule these lines across. We can rule this line across as well. We can rule the top. And what I'm going to do here, this is 12 centimeters up, so is this point over here. That leads to here, and I'm just going to do it by eye and rule a line between there and write 12 millimeters. The outside is our 63, so we can rule a line on the outside, and this will say 63. And then erase these inside lines, erase the outside, and that is now reading, telling us the exact measurements. Same to do at the top here. What I'm going to do is to just rule up from each point. Now, all we need to do for this, a line across, and we have 16, 25, 16, 16, 25, 16. And so what we can do now, grab a fine liner, 0.3, and just to finish it up, can go over the top, just so that all those lines stand out. And nice and neatly, using a ruler still, if you've got a light box or a window, put up on the window with a clean piece of paper over the top and just do it all on a nice final piece of paper. But while we're still learning, can just do it on top of our grey lead, which we can erase later. Shouldn't be any grey lead on the page. We can go over and erase all the rest of it later. And you can finish up your whole drawing just like that, nice and neat in black fine liner. And that's it for our third angle orthogonal introduction.